In tantric practice, unlike other practices, we take the result onto the path. That means, before we become a Buddha, we imagine ourselves as a Buddha. Whereas in Hinayana paths, you do not imagine yourself as a Buddha, you actually practice in order to become a Buddha. But in Tantrayana practices, in Vajrayana practices, although you're not a Buddha, you imagine yourself to become Buddha in order to stop actions that are not Buddha-like. So you take the result onto the path. The path is what? You're practicing the Dharma. The result is what? The practice is Buddhahood. The result of your practice is Buddhahood. The path is the practice. So when you take the result onto the practice, you are accelerating it. And for modern people, they always say this: I am depressed. I don't have a purpose in life. I don't know who I am. I'm not confident of myself. So the Tantra teachings are very powerful to counter these types of negative emotions that actually bring us down. So what happens is, when we receive Kala Chakra teachings, in the Kala Chakra sadhana is quite thick, we would actually go through the meditations and practices as if we are a Kala Chakra deity. And our wife, our husband, our children around us are the ministers, are the entourage, are deities of the gate, the deities of the mandala. And also our house is not visualized as a house, it's visualized as a divine abode of Kala Chakra. Why? So that it cuts our attachment to ordinary appearance. Meaning, if we keep thinking, it's my wife, it's my wife, it's my wife, we will yell, we will scream, we will be mean, we'll cheat, we'll lie, we'll do all types of negative things. But if we think she's the consort of Kala Chakra, we dare not do that. But she's a Buddha. So what happens is, even if she's not a Buddha, if we think of her as a Buddha, it helps us to stop actions that are un-Buddha-like. That's one. So when His Eminence Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche called himself the Sakyong, holder of the earth, the king of the earth, he represents the Kala Chakra teachings on earth from the kingdom of Shambhala. Shambhala has many representatives of their kingdom throughout samsara. He is one of their representatives by virtue that he practices the teachings, so he brings people there. He's like an ambassador. In order for us to get a visa to enter Malaysia, we need to go to the embassy. In each country, the embassy or the ambassador represents the whole country. And he's very powerful. Therefore, we must respect. Therefore, that ambassador is kind of like the prime minister of Malaysia in that respective country. You understand? Okay, that's one. So when Rinpoche calls himself the Sakyong, and his wife is the Sakyong Wangmo, she is the queen, he is the king. The kids are his divine children. The assistants, all that are deities of the mandala, and his house represents the divine abode. What he's trying to do is change people's view to always look at things in an ordinary way. When his wife thinks of herself as the queen of Shambhala, although she's not, she gains confidence to do something. She gains more confidence in who she is. It's like a rebirth. It's like when we give the refuge ceremony. When we give the refuge ceremony, and afterwards our Lama gives us an assignment. Instead of complaining to our Lama, we cannot, we should push ourselves to do it. Why? He's opening the potential in us. Similarly, when he names her the Sakyong Wangmo, the queen of Shambhala, he's opening up her potential to transmit and spread the Dharma to others. Although at that moment, she cannot, but by giving her that name, he's opening the potential for her to be able to do so in the future. So in their court, they have the Dapins, they have the ministers. In my place, I call them liaisons. It's just a different name. So when the liaisons fail, or don't want to do, or lazy, or don't push themselves, they destroy their own potential. They destroy the potential of their Lama. They say, well, then I won't want to be a liaison, I want to run away. Then you get even more damage. Why? You're giving a pot of gold, but you'd rather live in poverty. So that's how when you're given positions in committees, you're given positions especially in the lajong or work or health, it helps you develop that potential. It's just different names. It's just different names. So therefore, him giving titles and names to people in his Kalapa court is him opening their potential to what they can be. before they become it. It's like your son, who you want him to become a doctor. Before he becomes a doctor, say, hey, doctor, doctor, doctor. Keep reminding him. You understand? And also at the same time, it's a blessing. Because you're not naming them ordinary names. You're naming them names of deities. Names of divine beings. The second one, the real one, is the queen consort of the king of Shambhala. She's not an ordinary lady. She's a Buddha. So Kala Chakra has a consort. Whether we prostrate to him or to her, there's no difference. They're actually one being. They're one being. Their level is the same. And at the same time, what you say is correct. Is that when you give people these titles, they live up to these positions. After he's gone, they can carry on the teachings. So say, well, I'm the liaison. Well, I'm the Sakyam Wangmo. I'm the Dapen. I'm the Kusum. I'm this, I'm that. So I need to continue. So the Lamas give titles to people and letters to give them titles to help them to carry on the teachings after he's gone to prepare for the future when they come back. Correct. So people who are given titles should hold on to them very strong and seriously. Very strong. And if you say, I'm not ready for it, that's when you are ready for it. Why? If you're not ready for it, and the Lama gives it to you, he's making you ready. Because if you do it on your own time, probably you'll never be ready. And a lot of time is wasted. So that's why titles given by Lamas, especially on their stationery, is very sacred. It's very holy. And you saw Rinpoche wrote a lot of letters. Titles and appointments. To some it looked like a joke, but actually there's very deep meaning behind it. Very deep.